Hello, my future toppers, and welcome back. I know your exams are just around the corner, so today we're going to master a chapter that's not just for getting good marks, okay? This one is about understanding the very software that makes us, well, us. We're talking about culture and socialization.
So grab your notes, get comfortable, and chuddo, let's get you all set for your exams. I promise, by the end of this quick session, you'll have this topic completely under your control. Guaranteed!
But let me start by asking you something. Just think about it. Have you ever really wondered how you became, well, you? You know, why you like the food you like, why you speak a certain way, or believe in the things you do? The answer to all of that is right here, in this chapter.
Here's our plan for today. Super simple. First, we'll talk about your culture software. Then we'll see how that software gets installed through something called socialization and who the installers are. We'll also look at what happens when different cultures meet. And of course, we'll finish with a quick revision for your exam. So, let's begin.
Okay, let's jump right in. I want you to think of an analogy. You all have a phone or a laptop, right? And it has an operating system, that invisible software that makes everything just work. Well, culture is just like that. It's the unseen operating system for our society.
Or, here's another way to see it. Culture is like a map. A map that tells you how to behave in society. It gives you all the unwritten rules, how to greet your elders, what's okay to do at a friend's party, how to act respectfully in a temple or a mosque. It's the shared map we all use to find our way.
Now, for the exam, this definition by Edward Tylor is just perfect. You must learn it. But what does it mean? The key words to remember are complex whole, which just means culture is a big mix of many things, and acquired. This is super important. It means culture is not something you're born with. It's something you learn as a member of society.
So, this culture software of ours has three main parts. First up is cognitive. This is all about thinking and understanding, like how you instantly get the joke in a meme your friend sends you. Second is normative. These are the rules for how to behave, like knowing you shouldn't read someone else's messages. And third is material. This is all the physical stuff, from the phone you're holding to the roads and buildings outside. All three work together to make up our culture.
So, if culture is the software, then how exactly does it get installed into our minds? Well, that happens through a really important process, and that process is called socialization. This is the installation part of our story.
Put simply, socialization is the journey that turns a tiny, helpless baby into a person who knows things, who is aware of themselves, and who knows how to live in their culture. And listen, this is a lifelong process. It starts from your very first word and continues all the way through your life.
But how important is it really? Well, it's everything. Think about the famous story of the wolf children found in Midnapore in Bengal. They grew up without any human contact. And because of that, they couldn't speak, they couldn't walk properly, they behaved more like the animals who raised them. It's a very powerful example that shows us that our interaction with other people is what truly, truly makes us human.
So, if socialization is the installation process, then who are the installers? Who are the people and the places that teach us all this cultural software? In sociology, we call them the agents of socialization. Let's find out who they are.
The process begins with our family. They are our very first and most important installers. But then come our peer groups, our friends. They teach us a whole different set of rules, don't they? And school. It's not just for learning subjects. It's also teaching us discipline and teamwork. And what about today? You tell me. The biggest installer of all might be mass media. All those YouTube videos and Instagram reels. And it doesn't stop. Later in life, your workplace will also teach you new things.
Okay, we live in a globalized world now, right? Different cultures are meeting and mixing all the time. You can think of it like different software programs interacting. Sometimes this can cause a few glitches, but it can also lead to some fantastic upgrades.
First off, why are there so many different cultures in the world? Well, a big reason is the environment. I mean, it makes sense, right? A life in a hot desert is going to be very different from a life in the snowy mountains. The food, the clothes, the stories, everything is shaped by our natural surroundings, and this creates all this beautiful cultural diversity.
So when these different cultures meet, we can have two kinds of attitudes. The first one, and it's not a good one, is ethnocentrism. This is when you judge other people using your own culture standards, thinking, my way is the best way and their way is wrong.
The opposite of this, and the much better attitude, is cosmopolitanism. This means you're open-minded. You value other cultures for what they are, and you're happy to learn from them.
And you know what? We see this cosmopolitan upgrade happening all around us in India. Look at our language. We've created Hinglish. We take words like chai, lakh, crore, and even made up our own cool words like prepone and time pass. We mix and match and we create something totally new and awesome. It's a perfect example of cultures borrowing from each other and upgrading themselves.
All right, my dear toppers, it's revision time. Let's do a quick system check and make sure you've got all these ideas perfectly installed. We'll look at a very common type of exam question.
Here we go. This is straight from your textbook exercises. What do you think is the most powerful agent of socialization for your generation? And how is it different for your parents' generation? Just take a moment and think about it.
Okay, want to know how to write a full marks answer? It's simple. First, you talk about your generation. You can say that mass media, especially the internet, is probably the strongest agent for you guys. It connects you to global trends on YouTube and Instagram instantly. Next, you compare it to your parents' generation. For them, family was probably the most powerful agent, because their world was more focused on their home and their local community. And here's the crucial point to get the top marks. You must mention how the influence of these agents changes over time. The examiner will love that.
And one last, very important thing to remember. Socialization doesn't just make us all the same, like robots following rules. Absolutely not. In fact, it's the very thing that gives us our sense of self, our identity. It gives us the tools to think for ourselves and even to question the very rules we've learned.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. You have been taught your culture through socialization. But remember, culture is never static. It's always changing. And you are the next generation. So the big question is, how will you change it? How will you contribute and shape it for the better? Think about that. All the very best for your exams, my dears. You are going to do wonderfully.